How does gratitude affect your brain physically? I have 4 ways today that gratitude actually changes your physical brain function. And then I have some bonus yoga poses that bring you into gratitude. And finally, I have a bonus tip to help you save a little bit of money, because oftentimes money becomes an enemy and we're not actually grateful for it, but we should be grateful with spare change. That's where it starts. Pennies, nickels. I have a way that you can take those and grow it into abundance. Coming up, stay tuned. Well, welcome everyone. I'm Justin. This channel is all about taking control of your life. You want to be a happier person? You want to walk out into the world every day and maybe have a smile on your face instead of being negative or angry all the time? This is the place to be. We cultivate things here through strength, freedom, and yoga, and we help everyone take control of their lives. So if you are all about that, please hit the like button. It really does help with the channel's algorithm, and it gets the video out to more people. Share the video with others who may be struggling right now or need some answers or don't know where to go. It just takes small, tiny steps to move forward. Not huge, gigantic things, right? Small, tiny steps. We're here to do that on this channel. So again, welcome. And if you love this kind of content, I'd love if you would subscribe to the channel as well. So let's get started. I'm going to talk to you about those four ways that physically we can change the brain function to allow more gratitude in and reap those life-changing benefits, because they are life-changing. So if you're stuck and you want to know, hey, how can I change my life a little bit? What can I do? What are some steps? We're going to talk about that right now. Don't forget, I got bonus yoga poses and some ways to take that very small spare change and make that into something bigger as well. So I want to talk first about a study that was done in Berkeley in California in 2017. So what they did in this study was they took 300 participants and they broke them up into 3 groups. So first of all, let me just say this, that everyone in the study received counseling. So this was a minimum of 12 weeks and everyone had received counseling through this. And what they did was they decided that the first group was going to just receive counseling. The second group was going to take the counseling and they were also going to write negative letters out. So if they didn't feel good about something or there was some feeling that they wanted to get out on paper, they're going to write out negative letters instead of anything positive. So it was all just counseling and negative letters. They did that once per week for 3 weeks. And then the third group did positive letters of gratitude. They did that once per week for 3 weeks. And here's what they found. They found that the participants who wrote positive letters and had the counseling, of course, we remember everyone had counseling, but they found that the participants who wrote positive letters, what they did was 4 weeks after they had done that 3-week exercise, 4 weeks later, and then again 12 weeks after that, I mentioned 12 weeks before, so 12 weeks after, they reported significantly better mental health than in the other 2 groups, the group that just did counseling and the group that did counseling and negative letters. Now, while that might not be completely conclusive, there are tons of studies out there that show you, and you can look them up, just look it up, they're everywhere, that show you, and this is just one of them, that show you that when you couple gratitude with some other form of counseling, and it doesn't have to be, you necessarily have to go to counseling. It could be some other counseling. You could be doing some inner work. You could be doing journaling. You could be doing other things. This study was just one of a lot of different studies, but it shows that the gratitude will improve your mental function. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that here coming up right now, because imagine if you do it weekly or daily. You do gratitude daily, gratitude journaling. Maybe you do gratitude in your meditation daily. I have a video about doing that in the morning and how to start your morning off. I'll link that below too, because it's really important to start your day off with big gratitude. It changes your mindset. Here's how it changes your mindset, because our brains are already wired to protect us from things. That's why a lot of times we sort of hesitate before we make decisions, because we're afraid of what the outcome is going to be, right? That's what happens. We kind of get nervous. Our brain is wired to do that, but you have the ability to change the way your brain is wired. We all have the ability. So if anyone says, oh no, it just doesn't work for me, it might work for you, that's nonsense. It works. And I'm going to tell you why. The first thing that gratitude helps you physically to do is it physically breaks you free of toxic emotions. It shifts you into a more positive mindset. So those toxic emotions like resentment or jealousy or envy or regret, we're all going to have those feelings, but gratitude is able to shift you out of that because we instruct our brain what to focus on. It will focus on external forces most of the time because it's looking for danger. So, if you're in a crowded room and someone screams, you're automatically going to be alert. If you sense danger's coming, you're automatically going to be alert. If someone yells your name, you're going to be alert. That stuff gets in. But because our brains are there to protect us. But otherwise, you can change the way you think with gratitude physically as it breaks you free from always looking at a toxic outcome. All right? That's number one. Number two is that there is no need to share gratitude. So it physically changes your brain function when you're coming into gratitude on your own. So what I mean by not sharing gratitude is that you're not reporting it to someone else. It's not a quiz. It's not an exam at the end of a semester. You don't have to write an essay on what you're grateful for. It all comes from internal. And when you are internal with your gratitude and you do not share your gratitude, it changes the chemistries in your brain to search for positive things and be more grateful. And then your brain lets less in of the things that you spin and start to worry about. The third one is that we remember that it does not happen overnight. Okay? It takes time. Gratitude takes time. We sometimes think we can miraculously change our thoughts overnight, but think about it. If you're watching this video, you probably had to train your brain to figure out how to get on to a social media platform and watch a video. You had to train you didn't just automatically go there. Using a cell phone. Everybody knows how to answer a cell phone. You learn how to answer it on your new cell phone. When your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whoever is calling you, oh, I need to answer, you've trained yourself to hit the button. So if you can train yourself to answer the phone, you can train yourself to think gratitude because like riding a bike, driving a car, learning your new microwave, whatever, right? It takes time to do that. It's not always going to be on the first try, but if you continue to do it, it trains your brain. Your brain changes, physically changes. You have to stick with it though. And it has, number 4, it has lasting effects on your brain. Studies will show you all over the place, as I mentioned before, that when you come into gratitude, you activate the prefrontal cortex of your brain, which that's where this is all leading up to. All of these things I just talked about, you start to logically think in accordance with your internal goals. Basically, who am I? Who am I? When you start to think, who am I? And you're in your prefrontal cortex, you're logically thinking instead of running on autopilot, where you're worrying about what other people are thinking, or you're worried about what other people are doing, or what other people think of you. When you're in your own prefrontal cortex, then you simply are coming into who you are. And the more you do that, the more that you activate the gratitude in your brain, and then you start to see more positive things out there. Now, let me make myself clear. I'm not suggesting that nothing bad is ever going to happen to you again. That's not the case. Something bad or challenging is going to happen. When you retrain your brain to think about gratitude, instead of thinking about all the negatives, how everybody or what everybody else is doing, you stimulate the prefrontal cortex. Again, that's where your logic lives. Your logic is there. You make these conscious decisions. I'm going to let this into my brain because I'm grateful that I have a clock. I'm grateful that I have lights. I'm grateful that I can go outside. I'm grateful that I can drive a car. Instead of focusing on, this doesn't work. That doesn't work. They don't work. This doesn't feel good. You're focusing on something that's actually physically changing your brain chemistry. That's how it works. So practice it daily. Write in your gratitude journal daily. Just say 5 things you're grateful for when you wake up. Say them when you go to bed. But it takes time. So give yourself that time and don't give up on it, because if you give up on it, you're going to go back to the kind of the default pattern that you have in your brain of looking for things to protect yourself, which can a lot of times be negative. So let's take a look at the yoga poses that can actually help you get into a little bit of gratitude. The first is mountain pose. So here's mountain pose. And mountain pose is standing up, stand straight up, place the palms of your hands forward, maybe bring your shoulder blades together, press into your feet and stand tall. That's mountain pose, Tadasana, right? That's a big grounding pose. It also helps you with gratitude. You let things in. When your chest starts to open, your shoulder blades come back. Here's pyramid pose. Pyramid pose we use a lot to ground in yoga classes. And when you place both of your feet flat on the floor and leave a gap in between your feet that's wide enough for you to feel both heels on the ground, and you fold over your front leg, you are really coming into gratitude again, because the earth, you and the earth are connected by your hand. Even if you have your hands on a block, you're still connected. Here's a low lunge. Low lunge is another fantastic one to feel grateful. You can put your arms up into the air. You can goal post your arms and let your chest open even more. Gratitude floods in when you're in a low lunge. Horse stance or temple pose. This is temple pose. This is a great one as well for coming into some gratitude. And let me tell you, with this one, you're going to come into some big gratitude when it's over, because you're really engaging your leg muscles here. But you come into your root chakras up, and it starts to make energetically push its way down towards the earth, even though you're in this position. So it's fantastic for gratitude. And the last one is really just a standard forward fold, and you can turn that into any pose you like. You can turn it into ragdoll. You can turn it into grabbing your big toes. But when you fold forward like this and you allow your body to release and you bend your knees, you come into big, big, big gratitude and grounding. So there's some great yoga poses you can practice if you're looking for some physical ways to practice into some grounding and into some gratitude. Finally, when you look back at really what where you're going to take gratitude with money, it all starts with a single penny or a nickel or a dime. It's the change. And I learned this trick about almost a year ago now. I started investing my spare change with ACORNS. And I'm going to tell you what, I'll put the link below. You can activate this to invest spare change. If you start with spare change, you physically and emotionally change your outlook on money just by doing little tiny pennies a day, and it grows. That's gratitude, because you're not trying to do it all at once. It's step by step, little by little. Do you have a gratitude practice? Share it with me in the comment section. I'd love to know all about it, and it will help others who can benefit from it as well. So also take a moment to gratitude journal. Right now, after this video is over, maybe write down 5 things that you took from this video that you're grateful for. I'm grateful for you, and I'm glad that you were here and we got to spend a little time together. And again, if you like videos like this, please give it a like, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that you'll know when new videos come out and you're notified. I can't wait to see you on the next video, and I wish you all an awesome day full of tons of gratitude. See you soon.